Hello, my name is LoG and welcome to Quickies number 3, where I show you something that I think is cool in 5 minutes or less. Today, I think these mini bends are pretty cool. The concept is really simple. We're simply just looking at the normal notes that we would usually bend to, but instead of doing our normal bends that we would naturally do inside of pentatonic, let's say, we are always bending to those notes by half step. For example, if I do something simple like this, kind of the typical bend that most people will do in pentatonic, that's 1, flat 3, 4, and then the 4 bending up to the 5. And because 4 and 5 are a whole step apart, that bend is a whole step bend. Now that's an easy bend that people play because all of those notes are naturally in the scale. Our fingers are already on top of those notes. When I play 4, that's in the scale, so it feels comfortable. I can simply just play that note that I would already play and bend up a whole step, and then I'm at the 5. However, there aren't that many instances in a key of a half step bend, but half step bends can sound very cool. So what we're doing is using these half step bends regardless of if those notes that we're bending from are in the key in the first place. So instead of doing this, we're doing this on purpose. Right? I'm targeting this note, even though it's not in the scale, not in the key, it's flat 5, but I know I'm going to play it and then immediately bend it up to the eventual 5, the note that I'm going for. The cool thing about half step bends is they're a little bit more subtle, a little bit more soft than a whole step bend. But the extra cool thing about it is most of your fingers can handle a half step bend regardless of the situation or regardless of if that finger is doing that bend by themselves. A whole step bend is pretty hard to do with just one finger, like a pointer finger or a pinky or something, unless you have really light gauge strings. But a half step bend is pretty doable with most fingers, so regardless of what situation you find yourself in, you can usually sneak out a half step bend if you're in that spot. So for example, if I want to do something like this, right? That's me playing the 4, 1, flat 3, 4, and then bending up to it with just the middle finger. And I can handle that bend because it's only a half step bend. It's not that far. And you get that extra cool kind of subtle sound. So the best way to practice this is something like this. Play on one string, hammer on from one note to the next note of the scale. Let's say I'm kind of playing B minor right now, so I'll do that. Here's B, R1. I'm going to hammer on to the next note of the scale, the 2, and then I'm simply going to move back with my ring finger 1 fret and immediately bend up to that same note. So pointer finger, hammer on ring finger, and then go back a fret and bend up immediately. Do it again. That's the 2 to the flat 3 to 4, 4 to 5. I'll do flat 6 right here. Flat 6, flat 7, flat 7, 1. Right, so notice that very little subtle articulation that you're getting whenever you do those bends. And it's really cool because all of those notes that you're bending from are not in the key, so you get that little bit of an extra color to your playing. Thanks for watching. See you next time.